World Race Films. Alrighty, on today's show, we're going to talk about American slang. Going to be going over a lot of different slang, so make sure to grab your pens, your paper, and your ears. You're going to need to listen to this one. Hello, Maurice. This is American slang. I'm just going to talk to you and kind of go over what we went over this month and have a lot of visuals and learning to go along with it. So I'll just list off all the ones that we did start with and we went over. So deuces was on there, and that has two separate meanings, which we'll go over. What's shakin' bacon? What's cookin' good lookin'? Get in my belly, and I've got this on lockdown. All of those are very commonly used in America, and I use them daily. So our first word that we're going to go over is kind of the trickiest one. I'm going to start with the hardest one and just get that out of the way. That way the rest are just piece of cake. Also, another slang. So, deuces. Now this is the one that has two separate meanings. Now the first meaning is the most common, and that's goodbye. Deuces is how you would say it with that vocal inflection. As you know, I'm getting out of the taxi and I'm leaving, and I say deuces. It's really just a au revoir. It would translate as a very sincere, very nice goodbye. Deuces. Also, the second one would be poop. I took a deuce. You go to the bathroom, you pee, and then you also take a deuce. That one is I can't show you that example for obvious reasons, but a deuce could also be poop, and you would use that in a sentence like, oh, my stomach feels so much better, I just took a deuce. So the two ones again for deuces would be deuces, I'll see you later, deuces, I'll see you later, goodbye. And then the second one would be, oh, my stomach ache is gone because I just took a deuce. The second word that I want to go over is what's shaken bacon. That is a form of, it's ça va in French, basically, how's it going, what's going on, what are you up to, so to speak. So you would definitely say this to somebody you're close with and to a friend. So I would go up to you and say, hey Maurice, what's shaking bacon? And that would basically tell you, hey, Briar is interested in what I'm doing and he wants to know exactly what I'm doing. So an example would be, I'm at school or you're at work and you see a friend and you go up and you shake their hand and you say, what's shaking bacon? And they would usually reply with what they just did or what they're going to do. So the third word that we have here for the slang would be, I've got this on lockdown. Now this is something that I use quite a bit. Lockdown could be, it could be used for sports, but it also could be used in your daily lingo, daily language, and how you converse with people and communicate. You've got it on lockdown. So lockdown, just picture it, something safe, something secure. So when I say you've got it on lockdown, I'm saying, hey, you were really good at that and you perfect. Like you did a really good job. So by the end of our month at ministry, we had evangelizing on lockdown. We did it really, really well because we learned it from Maurice, who also had evangelizing and sharing the good news on lockdown. So that was really good. And when it comes to sports terms, if you're playing football and the goalie is blocking every single shot, you could say he's got that goal on lockdown. That means no ball is getting in there, no goals are going to be scored. He's got it on lockdown. So our fourth word is a really good one, and I think hopefully you have already been using it, and that's what's cooking good looking. So this is a play on words because it also rhymes and it sounds good coming off the tongue. But this is something that you would use to someone that you have feelings for. So it's usually from like a husband to a wife or a wife to a husband. I wouldn't say this to just any friend. I wouldn't say this to my parents. But I would say it to, if I had a girlfriend or when I do have a wife, I'm going to be saying this almost every day. So, you wake up and you need to just, you need to say it to your wife and be like, hey, what's cooking good looking? and that is just saying, hey, what's going on? That's what the what's cooking part. That means what's going on, what's happening, how's it going, ça va. And then good looking just also adds that little bit, to Angeline, that, hey, you're looking good. You look great. You're beautiful. So what's cooking good looking? So you saying that to your wife would for sure make her smile. It's a sign of endearment that you love her and you are interested in what she is doing, but then you're also complimenting that she is very beautiful and you love her. So for our next word that I'm going to talk about for American slang, it's piece of cake. So it basically means, in one word, easy. So this test at school was a piece of cake. It was very easy. There was no hard questions. There was no confusion at all. It was just a piece of cake. So for example, this pen here, this would be a piece of cake to open and to close. That was a piece of cake. No issues, no problems. And I think they use a piece of cake because it is delicious, and you do love cake, and it's easy for you to put that cake in your mouth because it is a piece of cake. You want that in your mouth, and just the easiness of that too. There's usually no obstacles of putting that cake in your mouth. So our last one so our last word of the day is a great one. And before I say it, I just want to say you did really well with this one, especially with the vocal influx and the increased amount of tone to it and passion behind saying the word. I think that's really, really crucial. And that is the American slang term, get in my belly. This is, I use this very, very often. It's usually used towards food. You're sitting around, and I think back at the example where you had us at your place, and we all were eating the peanut sauce, and just proclaiming with passion, with fire, get in my belly. I think that really, really, it's a sign of endearment to both the food, saying, hey, I want you in my belly, but then also for the person who made it, it's really telling them, hey, they want that food inside of their mouths and into their stomach. So they obviously love that food and they want that food. And it's important too, when you do say it, to say it not as a normal term. So for example, saying, oh, this food looks great, get in my belly. That's not how you say it. It wouldn't be received as well. But if you say, oh, this food looks so good, get in my belly. That's something that really is going to bless the host that gave you the food, but then it's also going to let everybody else at the table know that, hey, Maurice or whoever said it really, really likes this food and they want it inside their stomachs. So that is it for today. I'm going to go over just one last time every one that we covered. So we started off with deuces and how that has two separate meanings, goodbye and poop. And then we covered what's shaken bacon. I've got this on lockdown, meaning perfect, What's cooking good looking. With that one, just another side note that I want to reiterate, only use that to somebody, you only use that to your wife. It's not a friend thing or a family thing, it's really just a spousal slang term that we use. And then that was a piece of cake. That one's an easy one to remember. And then lastly, get in my belly. And again, you gotta really, really, speak from your belly, so to speak. So that's it for today. Thank you so much just for a great month of ministry, and tune in next time. And remember, practice makes perfect.